On this episode, we piss everybody off.
And we'll hopefully piss everybody off. And then hopefully
Then everybody will click off.
Right.
And then they'll come back.
Stephen Pollack gets angry.
The information can be correct, and that's
Yeah.
great. But if you're not willing to help and be a part of the community and just kit bash it, you are not part of the community.
Find out who's tugging.
we can figure out a rotation for talking to.
Thought we agreed.
This is the American Forces Vietnam Network.
Hardcore military.
Good morning!
Viet Nam was going to be very different from the United States of America. Except for all the beer cans and the barbecue, it was.
Ladai! Ladai! Get the fuck out of the hole! Move!
Broken Arrow Pizza. This is Carmine speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, how you doing? I'd like to place an order for pickup, please.
Sure, what do you need?
I like one large pie, my man.
Any toppings on that?
What do you got?
We got pepperoni. We got some sausage. Alright, some peppers.
All right, another one with some peppers.
What about I got a special for you. I got Broken Arrow. Broken Arrows come correct.
Broken Arrow, come correct. What the hell is that?
The Broken Arrow Podcast, 2-hour special podcast.
Podcast.
How'd you get into this line?
Alright, come is ready for pickup.
I didn't order that!
All right, guys, it's the BAE Podcast Come Correct 2-hour special podcast, episode number 74. We got 5 of us here today going around the room here. I'm Liam, also known as Big Bay. To my left, we got Stephen Pollack.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Across from me, Alex Stramp.
What's up?
Frucci raging out in the corner.
Hello, everybody.
And a newcomer to the BAE Podcast, Come Correct 2-hour special, let alone just the BAE Podcast, Randy Dimand.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to finally be here.
All right. So we have a lot to talk about. As we know, this is like the big podcast to get you prepared for the August event, which is our big event of the year. Hopefully it's your big event for the year as well. Let's get to it. Let's start with the first topic we have, which is, we did the stupid intro. Hopefully you guys didn't cut it off. And then we're talking about Operation Groove in 2025, which is, we were just trying to up our efforts. And I have to say, for the most part, we've done it. Like all the guys in this group are amongst the more dedicated fellas of Broken Arrow events. We're putting a lot behind it this year, especially the big event, but also the Mobile Guerrilla Force event. That's got some momentum, and there's still time to sign up for that as of this recording. So I hope you guys, if we haven't convinced you yet, hopefully we can convince you on this episode. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I think people need to recognize, and the best way of showing that appreciation is something we say all the time, and that's register. Do your part and register. So go ahead, Alex.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got a lot of fresh blood coming in, especially for Mobile Guerrilla Force. I think this is going to be one of the bigger Mobile Guerrilla Forces that we've had. So definitely come be a part of that. And then kind of going back to our roots in the with the grunt the grunt August event.
Yeah.
Thank you. With the August event, and it's going to be exciting. We've all worked really hard on it, and hope you guys can be a part of it.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a lot to cover this podcast, and we'll be talking more about Operation Green Lightning towards the end of the podcast. Well, let's talk about. I guess we always have a segment called Music of the Era, and it usually reflects what the time frame for the event is. This year, we're staying in 1970, going into 1971. So going around the room, I want everyone to kind of name a song that they've been listening to get kind of pumped up for this event from that year. From either, I would say 1970, 1971, which is a tough one because most of the time, all of our stuff is in the 60s. So I don't know if anyone has one ready. I don't know, Ferrucci, you got a lot. There's a lot of like early heavy rock that you we listen to.
Now, like last year, I know I said The Wizard by Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of MC5.
Okay.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah. Of course, the big one is Kick Out the Jams. But I've been listening to like some of their lesser known songs like Future Now and everything like that. So that kind of, gets me up and going in the morning right before, an event. So, that's why I'll usually blast on Spotify. And, and there's a couple other bands. Like, you've heard of like Budgie.
Yeah.
Crash Course Through Brain Surgery. That's another good song. Kind of like the pre-mode to like heavy metal, which, like I said, those lyrics, considered pretty heavy at the time. Like I said, it always gets people energized, and it's always something a little bit different than your usual pop.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Those are good picks, and they're very, very appropriate for Ferrucci.
Oh yeah.
So I'll jump in, and one of the things that I'm really proud of and working on for the big August event is our Christmas party. So I'm not going to choose one from the 1970s. I do have a separate song for that. But in the vibe and spirit of Christmas, because I'm leading that committee, Blue Christmas by Elvis is one of my favorite. I think that came out in the 50s.
It did.
But that is a timeless classic, and I love it. But if I were to go for the 70s, something that's getting me hyped up for the general like combat and getting out in the bush with y'all is definitely going to be War Pigs by Black Sabbath. One of my favorite karaoke songs to do because you could just feel it. It's a good one.
Yeah, another classic. I've been really getting into the Stooges lately. Iggy Pop and the just the proto punk, specifically Down on the Street. I've been listening to that. I think Raw Power was the album. I could be completely wrong on that because I think they came up with two.
Because they had two consecutive albums. They had some good ones, like obviously 1969, 1970, TVI.
TVI is a great one. Loose is a great one, but right now, Down on the Street, I don't know, just gets those late war vibes.
Oh yeah,
nice.
That's a good pick.
What do you got, Randy? Or you want me to go?
You go ahead.
All right, so I've been listening to a lot of Santana, which is his. I guess Soul Sacrifice is the song that's been getting really jacked up. That was a 1969 song, but then there's like he had the album in 1970 with like I have it actually, Black Magic Woman, Oye Como Va, like those songs. Just makes me feel like, but it just makes me feel like summer's here, like all those songs. So that's what I've been getting pumped up with.
There's some cute choices.
Yeah. But Soul Sacrifice, I don't know, like even like the drum solo, like when he's doing it at Woodstock, and it's like 5 minutes of this guy just going boom 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 boom. Just it's cool, good song.
Some of my favorites from early 1970s, even some later 60s, is the Kinks.
Oh,
that really gets me going and gets me in the mood for the summer. And coming late to August or early August rather, that's what really gets me going.
That's like your season. You're like getting the season's here song. Mm-hmm. Yeah, season's here music. Good. Yeah, Kinks are a solid. Kinks are a solid one. And that's all through like the 60s. Like yeah. I think someone actually said they liked the Kinks on a past one we were doing like 68 or 67. So like that's
well, I mean, the Kinks managed to stay relevant from the 60s on in through to the 80s.
Yeah.
Too. Like, they had a long career. So yeah, it's a solid pick.
Yeah, good pick. All right, so moving on, we have Mobile Guerrilla Force. That's our, first tactical event of the year. Now it's shaping up to be really good. So we have a contingent of Arvin reenactors that are with us, and they're joining us for the first time. And we have a decent number of Sigi Force, a lot of guys, I guess, coming back from the Ben Het, so they're to continue on wearing the Tigers, doing that kind of thing. And I'll be honest, the NVA, I need to round out that side. Ferrucci's on that side. Yeah. We got Johnny Bullfrog. So we've got a couple like all-star players. So if you're on the fence of going to that event as NVA, that's like a good event to go to. You'll get that real stealthy, sneaking experience that I think a lot of the NVA want, where they may not get it at the big event because it's just a bigger scale. This is the event to do it, and that venue is kind of perfect for it because the foliage is thick. So like,
really good for sneaking around.
Yes,
And just, yeah.
And there's a decent road network in that field or that venue where you can use these high speed trails to get to places, and then duck into cover into the shrubbery and all the bush.
You could be 10 feet in the tree line and not be seen.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah, and the Gettysburg venue, it's a nice little area. Like the area is nice. I just I'm excited to use that field because I like the owner is such a nice guy, so easy to deal with, and I just want a reason to use that venue. So this to me I think is the perfect chance to use it for something that I would never have thought to have used it there for, and I'm kind of glad that we're doing it down there to try it out.
Yeah.
Like I said in past podcast episodes, where what I like about this year is that the venue isn't the biggest, so there's like almost a guarantee we're eventually going to run into each other, whether it's somebody surprising somebody else, just running into contact. So another reason for it, if you're on the fence as an NVA, like sign up, because you're gonna especially with those Southern guys. There's a whole contingent of Southern reenactors and NVA reenactors that want to go, or somebody who wants to try something else. It usually goes GI. That's always a good excuse. I know Pollock has done that. I usually go that side. I'm gonna go on the Mike Force side this year. But Ferrucci, this is the only time Ferrucci really plays NVA.
Yeah, it's the one time of the year. I like it. It's like you've already mentioned, it's a change of pace.
Yeah.
If you want a different play style, that's why I like going as Patton, because you can be a little more stealthy and you kind of have a little more free range on what you want to do tactics wise. Whether you want to set up an ambush or you just want to recon the area and spot where the Mike Force.
Right, and it's important you do all that stuff because you're going to be outnumbered. And you're outnumbered probably 2 to 1, 3 to 1 in some cases. Obviously, you need to do that for the bigger event, but it still applies on a smaller scale. So.
Yeah, it's definitely good for those, even obviously for those who are padding in August. It's a good way of just getting your feet wet if you haven't.
Oh, for sure.
We have a couple of new signups for the padding in August.
Yeah.
So if they have the time and opportunity to go to Mike Force, I definitely would recommend it.
Yeah. And another reason too, especially if you're on the fence or still filling out your kit, there's a ton of loaner kit around in the community. If you are maybe missing a couple pieces, just reach out and we will get you perfectly squared away before you show up. We need a lot of padding for this event, especially because we do have such a large Mike Force contingency. So if you are on the fence at all, reach out to us. We'll get you squared away.
Yeah, for sure. We gotta get Randy to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'd be interested in doing.
Well, not even as MVA. Come down as on the Sigi Force.
Yeah.
You went. I'm trying to think. Did you ever go to one of the Mike Force events?
No, I've only gone to the big ones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got to come down, man. It's funny. I was talking about it. I might have been talking about it with you. I was like, I feel like all those guys, that GZA crew, this would have been like their bread and butter.
Oh yeah.
Doing an event like this, just sneaking around and having a little bit more autonomy. So
the Mike Force series was the first first BAE event that I went to, and it's still my favorite of the series, just because it's smaller units generally. You usually have on the Padman side is usually the All-Stars, and they always put up a great fight. And just the sneaking around and Tigers, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
You got the fence sign up.
That was 4 years ago.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah, man, for sure. That was a good event, though. That was a solid.
Yeah.
If you're comparing all the other Mike Forces, that was probably, what was that? Conduct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was probably the most solid one we had, and I'm hoping that this year I'm so confident, or I guess confident is the best word to say. Is I think this year is going to be really good. With whoever shows up, whatever we get, I still think it'll be pretty solid, a pretty solid event, if not our best one of the Mike Force series. So
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. So the dates are June 27th to the 29th at Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. Information's online. What are we, about 2 weeks out? So if you're gonna register now. I'll tell you what. I won't increase the price. The price is supposed to go up to $120. I'll leave it down. It's $100 right now. I'll leave it down to $100 if you want to register. And yeah, we'd love to have you. There's a just about everybody who's going is like it's like the all-star game of BAE's community. So,
And then a group of new people too. So
Yeah.
it make for a really
Yeah.
interesting dynamic.
yeah, for sure. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, again, June 27th to the 29th. I'll be up there Friday about noontime, a little early afternoon at the venue to kind of get people ushered in. All right. So moving on to the next segment. It's the one that Alex Stramp's brainchild here, stirring the pot. So I'll start off by saying this. Like I don't want to we're not trying to come off negative. It's really just we're not trying to rage bait either, right? But we're trying to just give an insight of how we feel doing all this. So we'll start with the most hated thing you see in the hobby, and then we'll go around the table doing that, and then we'll do the most thing you love seeing in the hobby. So we'll start off negative, and we'll hopefully piss everybody off, and then hopefully
Then everybody will click off.
Right.
And then they'll come back to hear what the good things we have.
So we
to say.
recover. We recover with that.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first with the most hated thing they see?
I'll go first.
I was gonna say it's gotta be.
Yeah.
it's
So
gotta
all
be-
right.
Yeah,
Last time I went on this whole rant about basement reenactors, and I'm not going to do the same thing. But a close second is hoarders. I cannot stand the people who have 15 M56 or M61 butt packs.
Wait a
and they
second.
don't
You've
do
been in my
anything
basement.
with it. I have, but no. Here's the thing. Here's the difference. It goes along with the basement reenactors.
Yeah.
You use that stuff.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
The amount of posts I see of people that are flexing their lightweight rucksack.
The hoarders.
Yeah.
You know what they are? They're all Gen Xers, bro.
Yeah.
They're all Gen Xers. I seen a guy argue with a kid on online about calling it generational wealth. That's why he has so many rucksacks. I'm like, the fuck,
The scary part is I'm seeing that happen with a lot of the younger community too. In some of the Viet Nam circles and discords that I've been a part of, I'm seeing young kids take that and try to emulate that. Where they go to a surplus store or a show and they see, ooh, M56 canteen cover, gotta buy them all.
Yeah.
And it just sits there. And again, it goes along with the basement reenactors, but even then, do you really need that many? Think about what's realistic for you to need, and maybe be a bigger part of the community than just your storage closet.
yeah, go out and use it.
Yeah.
Go out and use
Yeah.
it.
I always come back to that.
Yeah.
Touch grass.
Absolutely.
What is it called? Basement reenactors touch grass.
Basement reenactors. Touch grass.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cassidy, for
Yeah.
commenting on the Discord.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yes. By the way, no one else qualifies for that anymore. So
Mhm.
if you're back listening and you say it, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what about? Or we going in order? Or are we gonna go jump
I was
around?
gonna say,
Go ahead,
maybe
go.
I'm too positive right now. I need to think about this one for a second.
I have one. I mean, I can go. You want me to go with mine, or you want to go Ferrucci? Seemed like you had something on the tip of your tongue.
I did. It's not necessarily geared towards the community. Well, more so.
Well, it's the hobby. Remember,
Yeah, the
it's what you
hobby.
see in the hobby.
Okay,
So
the
it could be
hobby.
something that you just see in the hobby that's like.
So something we've talked about and we've kind of talked about on previous podcasts would be the
Rufio snoring. Great choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
that's
a
him
fan,
saying what he hates.
I would probably say my biggest issue would be other reenactors who don't play airsoft and they look down upon.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And that's always something that's irked me because yes, it's electric toy guns that we're using, but it's a means of actually reacting to some sort of content.
Right. That's like us. Can go. All right. Well, you a blank fire gun is literally a glorified
Yes.
Capcom.
Yeah.
Let's
And I have and like I said, that always irks me because there's some people who have their nose high in the air, like, oh, it's airsoft, it's below me, I don't want to do that.
And they have
And I know-
There's no inkling of them trying at all.
Yes,
there's no chance.
There's not a chance of them wanting to try. And my issue with that is because it prevents them from really experiencing.
Right.
You know,
You know what's funny? Randy Rickert.
Yes.
He dabbled in both, right?
Yes.
And he was probably before a lot of us did. And he said he's like the irony of the reenacting hobby, and he was referring to our event at its height, at its highest volume of people was probably Cochise Oregon Trail, and he said he's like the irony of that all these reenactors, the biggest tactical reenactment depicting the Vietnam War is an airsoft event, which is us. He said he's like dude, he's like of all the ones I've been to for 30 years of reenacting, this is still the biggest event that's done Vietnam, which is the irony of it.
And that's part of it too. Like it's not. I mean, obviously, how many times we've said over and over again. Look, this is more than just a milsim game. I mean, obviously, the historical authenticity, the immersion of it all. This isn't just like a lightly covered game from Vietnam, and then it's just at the end of the day an airsoft event. It's
not a Vietnam themed
Yes.
airsoft game. It is a Vietnam reenactment with airsoft.
Yes.
Right. The airsoft is the medium. It's the tool. But even even the quote Joe Napoli, he said he's like it's not even really like an event or reenactment. It's an experience. He's like,
Yes.
what you guys are doing, you're offering an experience. It's all encompassing immersion.
And that's where it kind of annoys me because, I mean, I know a lot of it's online. I know I'm not really involved in that. But it does annoy me that the arrogance of some people, like I said, that they look so down on this because of airsoft guns. Where, like you said before in previous podcasts, Liam, you've been to blank fire events. You can't, like, I know the number one example you always bring up is when you did the World War II reenactment out in Long Island and you captured a Jeep with only using a knife.
Yeah, but they didn't know I had a knife.
Well,
they didn't know how
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little,
Dude, that's my Iron Cross, man. Come on, you gotta leave that. That's my.
I'm not trying to
that's
shit
my
on
Iron
that,
Cross,
but
bro.
it's just like, okay, like I know we've talked about before, the magic bullet. Someone fires their blank fire, then 5 people either fall down.
That's just,
or,
that's blank fireism, That's just,
or the opposite. You pump a mag of shells into somebody and like
you actually see that.
You miss.
You see that way more.
Yeah.
You know what's funny that I see more at mixed events. The where like it'll be like 5 airsofters taking one, blank fire shot. And it was actually at a Vietnam event years ago where it was mixed.
Okay.
And this guy just had like it might have been a Mosin, and he just like fired a shot. He could have not just been shooting in the air, and like a whole bunch of like kids just looked at each other and were like, hit, and we're like, dude, it's one shot. Like like react to it. I'd rather have seen them react to it than taking the shot. But I think with the blank fire, you just see like a guy hip firing like a grease gun.
Yeah.
In front of a Tiger tank. Like I've seen it. Like it's like
that's not how like I know like I said, I know I've never been to, and I don't want to sound like a complete hypocrite, but like that's not how people react to that sort of stuff. They just like you've said before, they hip fire to like 15 people in front of them, where it's like, at least with airsoft you have something to react to. You got to worry about BBs, and you can you got to hide behind cover. You can't just pretend to be Rambo, otherwise you're just gonna get lit up.
Right. Yeah.
And
I was gonna say we have an easier time pulling the airsofters into kind of our milsim reenacting sphere than reenactors to our
convincing them.
Right.
But the funny thing is when we do get the reenactors, the odd reenactor here and there, if they're convinced, they're seamlessly in.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, okay. Like Sabi is like the best example because he turned his nose up, and then he's like, oh wait, no, this is like I can get shot. Like I actually have to like use tactics and patrolling matters. And it's not just like walk until I hear some pops and then I can run around and I'm Audie Murphy myself. There's actually like a threat, So.
Yes. And I'm kind of losing my track of thought here, but for what it is, like so many people, like I said, they I wish they saw what Sabia saw.
Yeah.
And understand, like, this is how it's run, and it's like, like I said, I'd rather play with airsoft guns than blank firing, just for that reason alone.
Right. And the thing too is like, I don't think we come across this way because we're not like anti-blank fire. Like obviously for us, we just can't use it because where we live, there's a lot of factors. It's not just because we don't want to use it, but it's based on where we live. Just insurance costs, which actually, ironically, it's easier to insure a blank fire event than an airsoft. But
that's surprising.
Yeah, but it's more of we're still like more focused on, I hate to say gaming aspect of it, but it's more of the tactical aspect without.
I think that's a better way of saying it rather than game, because it's not a game.
No,
it's the tactical side of it. You're having to
And I know the thought just got back to me. I know some of the reenactors' excuses with us would be like, "Oh, what about the pictures? Because like there's pictures of us with our goggles on." But my rebuttal would be is like, look, that's eye protection. Obviously, we take them off when we take, the more.
But to me, that, and it's just, and I'm going to say this because it does not bother me, but that's like me seeing a fucking 60-year-old private dressed up as a GI with a a white mustache. Like, that's, to me, the same thing as wearing goggles. It's like just the face is null and void, man. Like, the guy's not gonna dye his mustache for every time he's gotta go out. Just like we're not gonna chance getting our eyes popped out.
Yeah, exactly. But that always like makes me roll my eyes when they have all these they cherry pick these sort of excuses like, oh, this is why we can't do this and that.
But you know the irony is a lot of those guys, they go on these like patrols for like I don't know how long they say they go for or how long they actually do it. But if we just did a patrol with no shooting, we'd be doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
We'd be doing, if there was all right, no ammo, no batteries in your rifle, no air in your rifle, no need for iPro, and let's just walk around the woods doing what we do without having to worry. We'd be doing the same thing they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, what fun is that? I mean, I know that I'm kind of changing gears because I know, like just like you, Liam, and all of us in this room, quite frankly, that we've been airsofting for years before this. But it's a little more, like I said, exciting or entertaining because it is. I mean,
it's a better experience.
It is a better experience.
And this is someone who does both, right? Like I've done. I don't know, Randy. I don't know if you've done blank fire at all.
I've done a couple.
Yeah, it's blank fire is fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's still. I guess it's like I'm not saying we're provoked, but it's like they're the one who's bringing up that subject, so now we're reacting to it.
Yes,
obviously, right?
And I would be in favor of anyone obviously giving us a try or just just for that alone. All you gotta do is buy yourself $150. It doesn't have to be the best performing.
No.
At least it just fires something as a means of a projectile, and it might hit somebody.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say play devil's advocate. I know sometimes it's annoying to hear the whines of the gearbox and stuff, but like I can't
over the yelling and
combat, bro, you hear nothing.
Yeah.
Well, no, seriously, like over the yelling and screaming and everyone else's gun going off, you don't really hear it.
But like
especially if there's pyro. Too.
Yeah. And some of our obviously this was, I know what, 5 years ago when we had that massive hill assault.
Yeah.
In Tolcom, that was by far my most favorite, just in general, airsoft engagement ever.
That was a lot of people's.
Like just the amount of smoke grenades. I don't know, 10, 12 smoke grenades would pop while we were assaulting the hill.
Well, I ran along the bottom of the hill going like this, shaking all the. I had two big boys, and I was just like shaking them, like kind of,
but
like,
just
like Indian, Native American.
But just the clattering of all the AEGs going.
Yeah.
off.
Oh yeah.
And everyone's screaming. You're hearing grenades go off, and people are literally tripping over themselves, to try and gain ground. Like that was awesome.
Hamburger Hill, bro.
It was. Yeah, it was. Okay, who else? I mean, I can go. You got one?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
I would say the thing that I really dislike about the hobby is the superiority complex.
Oh yeah.
With a lot of people.
So everybody in this room.
But it's like to somebody who is just getting into the hobby, or somebody like a lot of us who may have started just airsofting at a
so the gatekeepers,
at a field,
yeah.
So the gatekeeper, and also the people who almost push away.
What sucks? We're seen as that in some circles, and I'm like, we do so much to like hold your hand and get you in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't other than having standards, which is like,
if we don't have standards, we don't exist.
Right, and then to circle back to Ferrucci's thing, then why? Right, it's like then we're where we are.
Yeah.
So
it's like I don't like seeing how, because at the end of the day, regardless whether you're somebody who's done this for 20 years or if you're somebody just getting into it, you have something to offer to someone.
Of course. And
so that's something that a lot of people don't understand, unfortunately.
That's just people, man.
Yeah.
But no, that's actually a really good one. Because that's something that we had to like kind of tread lightly in the sense that for years before BAE started, they had there were Vietnam airsoft events, and they had it was just more or less like show up in whatever, or come as we're doing this unit, but you can wear whatever. Just it has to be correct or whatever. So when I was like, all right, well, I want to do it where we're gonna have standards, but we're gonna be seen as gatekeepers. And then I look at them like, no, we just have standards. It's that simple. It's not we're not gatekeeping. In fact, we held your hand every step of the way to get, and it's really not that hard. It's really not that hard to achieve. We say this every year in every podcast when we talk about this kind of stuff, but it's not that hard to achieve. Where
we'll help you. Put it that way.
Yeah.
We will do everything that we can to help you. If you're on the fence or listening to this and like, hey, I would love to be in on this, but I can't. How do I get the stuff? We'd be more than happy to show you where to get the stuff, to point you in the right direction. Like, we're here to help.
And then like telling you that you can't wear Converses because they're 1960s on a patrol is not gatekeeping. Like there's a difference, It goes back to having standards. So we're willing to help you out. It's like we tell you exactly what you need. We tell you where to buy it. We tell you and what we're asking for. It's more of like the most basic impression possible. It's the extra stuff that we probably say no to.
Like I know just to piggyback on what you said. Like I said, we've allowed ourselves for you to access us so quickly, through Instagram, Discord. It'd be one thing like if it was like next to impossible to get a hold of us, but like we're literally a stone's throw away,
right?
And we answer all their questions. Like it'd be one thing if Liam was all about not allowing any information to go out. Then it'd be one thing. Oh,
case in point, this podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We not even allow. It's not even like that. Look, we want to share. Because if we didn't want to share, we wouldn't want people to come to these events. We would only have like what five
guys. Yeah,
5, 6 guys share a tent and then pretend to be on patrol.
That's a good one, Randy. That's a good point. That's a good point. Especially a guy like, how long have you been in the hobby now? Or in the Vietnam hobby?
Probably since maybe late 2020, maybe 2019.
So you've been around for a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you started out, you weren't going to base stuff. You were starting out with your buddies, right?
Yeah. Like we would put on the kit and go play.
So then now you've gone to 2 events, right? 2 big events.
Yeah, 2 big events.
So would you say your first event though? Did you feel that we were gatekeeping, or since you had all the stuff, you kind of had a head start and you just had to check with what was right or wrong?
It was sort of half and half. So I had heard previously before going to events that a lot of the guys who regularly attended were real sticklers for everything.
Yeah.
And part of that does go into having standards.
Right.
And how hard we enforce some of them. But once I had gotten to the event, it was nothing to what I had perceived when I initially started.
Right.
Everyone was so helpful, and even at my first event, there were a few things that were repro where I didn't like at the current time, but they pointed me in the direction of where I can find something to replace it, get a better one, get an original, and that helped me out immensely.
You know what I noticed? And you know what I noticed? That most of the people who say those kind of things have never gone to our events, or they go to the one event that just outright hates us, and that's all they hear. So that's all they have to go on. Yeah, that's a good insight though. Like a guy starting out, so it wasn't that bad. I guess the gist of it.
No. It wasn't that bad.
Randy's message of the day: don't hate from outside the club.
Yeah.
Hate from inside the club.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with mine. I'm gonna go with mine because it's kind of related to a little bit to Stevens and Ferrucci's, and the thing, and it's probably, as someone who's like been around for a little bit, and I guess I'm deep in it because I'm running my own event and producing the whole thing and doing my current thing that I hate right now is the fucking know-it-alls. The know-it-alls that have something to say about every single thing, and all the groups on Facebook, Discord, whatever. and they've never gone to an event. Not even ours. They just never gone. It's I guess they are a basement reenactor, but they have something to fucking say about everything, and they've never even applied it into use. So that to me, I'm that's like my current like the thing I guess like I see and I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like this sucks. They're like gatekeeping nothing. Like they're gatekeeping the hobby. If anything,
it's a power struggle.
Yeah.
It's like I want to be right, and I'm gonna tell you how much I know. It's like a confidence thing, a power struggle. That's at least how I perceive it, and it's especially prevalent on the Discord. Yeah. Like for some reason, like just the faceless interactions, it can be pretty brutal.
And if you notice, though, the guys who've gone to events they're usually the quiet ones. You know, like for at least on our Discord. I'm not on any other Discords, but I see it in like Viet Nam reenactors on Facebook. Like you get guys, and I'm like, this guy. I've never even seen this guy like at anything. Like or it doesn't look like he does anything. He just has read a book.
Right.
You know?
He's got the stuff.
Yeah, he's got the stuff.
Or he's got some of the stuff. Most of the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Alex, go ahead.
I was gonna say, kind of a similar vein is talkers versus doers. I guess is the simplest way.
So yeah, we're the same.
Well,
yeah.
well, I mean, and for me, I love making stuff, and there's nothing that pisses me off more than seeing like, okay, somebody's made a cool thing, right? Doesn't matter what, but somebody's made a cool thing, and people come out of the woodwork to take shots at how they would do the same thing, or I would change this. And at the end of the day, it's just like, cool, do it.
Where's yours?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like talk is so cheap, and materials and time and effort and blood and sweat is expensive.
That reminds me of when someone said something about our event. It was like early on. It was like maybe it was like a picture from MacArthur. They were like commenting on it, and I was like, "Where's your event? Where's yours?
Mm-hmm.
Did you make an event?"
Yeah,
and it's the same idea.
It's the old man in the arena thing.
Yeah.
Like if you can't like, not to say that if you have not made the thing, you cannot comment on the thing, but at the same time, like you have to respect the effort and the just the time and that's gone into it.
Yeah.
Or at least you should.
Right.
Clearly, you don't have to because.
Well, you're online. There's no repercussions.
Yeah, exactly.
This hits really close to home because one of the projects that one of the Pavin cadre and I worked on, Johnny Bullfrog, we spent months on this, researching, making sure we had things straight, finding photos, finding documents, filming, editing. Like it literally was a multi-month project to come up with a comprehensive and generalized guide, pictorial guide with conversation pieces. It was a video on my personal YouTube channel to talk about it. And immediately, like, granted, there are some things, especially in hindsight, as we've learned more, that maybe we could have adjusted and done better. But the only reason we found out about that is because of the amount of just online talkers and the shit talkers on Discord and everything that were like, oh, well, actually, this is a K82 belt or whatever. Like, great, fantastic. I would have loved to know that information prior to making this video when I reached out to all the communities I could.
Well,
they will never help.
It's their delivery. That's part of it, too. It's the delivery of...
The information can be correct, and that's great. But if you're not willing to help and be a part of the community and just kit bash it, you are not part of the community. No. You know? And you're just a talker.
Right. I was going to ask you straight up, has anyone ever, I mean, obviously you don't have to name names, but has anyone ever criticized any of your projects?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like the, so to do a little bit of a rundown. So like the what I consider like my personal favorite project, the China Lake, the pump action 40mm grenade launcher. I made a replica of. I think I brought it to my first event, which I was shocked that I was allowed to because it is the snowflakiest of all the snowflake guns.
What the Mike Forces?
Yeah, I had a photo and like they were in use. It was kosher, but still. Anyway, brought it and I had people saying like, oh, why didn't you make it shell ejecting? Why doesn't it shoot tag-ins? Why doesn't it? Why is it running off of HPA? Why is it doing this? Why is it doing that? All sorts of stuff. But at the end of the day, I have a China Lake and you don't, so it's fine. But
I have a talking stick.
Yeah. But it's like, where's yours? Like,
I look at like actually my favorite was there was a guy because I made a short video on it, and the guy was a guy reached out to me and asked like, oh, do you have any CAD for it or anything like that? Unfortunately, like I didn't have it handy, and he's like, oh, well, it's just a pump action shotgun, right? So that'll be easy. And it's like, have you built a pump action shotgun? Because if the answer is no, I don't know how that's relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's more like that. Like
I want to see more people make stuff though too.
Yeah.
Like it's not a case of
you are one of the few that I know of that that's doing stuff like that.
There's a few others.
Yeah.
And I think there's actually a guy that made one that's 3D printed, which was really cool.
Right.
Right. But yeah, like do it. I guess is the bottom line. Yeah. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to the positive side, which is what do we love to see in the hobby.
I got so fired up. I have to think for a minute.
I know. Me too.
See, this is the one I'm ready to go for.
Go ahead, Alex.
On the same side of things, I love seeing how creative and like ingenious the stuff that people come up with, whether it's reproducing the rations. Shout out to Buck. Reproducing the like the grenades or like the pyro or going the extra mile to make sure that your replica is as close to real as you possibly can to the nth degree. To making my personal favorite, the larger pieces like mortars or rocket launchers or like the heavier weapons, to making stuff from scratch. Like it's always so inspiring to see what people just come up with.
The creative types are really cool.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's one of the things I appreciate about Strant most. As much as he's like about making things, real recognizes real, and he sees that in other people, and I enjoy that creativity as well.
Thanks, man.
I would say the most positive thing that I have seen with people that I really enjoy is how the people who really, really care about the group that we do, how much effort and time and just care that they put into it. That they are willing to go and help out the people, the newer people. They're willing to help out somebody with research, even if it's something that they're not quite familiar with, because they want to expand their knowledge on a certain subject, and that goes a long, long way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would say mine is the different kinds of people that this hobby brings together. Whether you're an engineer, a teacher, a musician, or you played Young Simba on Broadway. Like, these are all kinds of people that can be at these events. And the friendships that you can make even outside of that are, they're pretty special. Like, I've had a lot more phone calls with Ferrucci about non-Vietnam stuff than Vietnam stuff, And it's a really cool thing. The community is broader than you think. And you're only going to get that if you experience it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, mine's the same. Like, honestly, just the eclectic group of people that it brings together. And, like, not to sound corny, and I've said this before, but it's like at this like phase of my life, like my adult, like whatever, this is like my circle of friends, really. Like it's that's it. Like I have like, my friends from growing up, maybe like people from old jobs, and then it's like this group is like people who I really hang out with. So like that I love to see. And I love to see, I've said it before, like all the little like cliques of buddies hanging out with each other. So I'm like, all right, that's like cool that like, I love to see that, and it's like something that I'm kind of facilitating in a way, like by putting on the event. So like, a guy like Alex, he came around and he wanted to get more involved and befriended people, and now he's like a regular guy in the group. So
he fostered a whole bunch of children.
I mean, Ferrucci, he's like the enigma because he did force himself on me, broke into my apartment. The first time I met this guy, he ripped the door handle, the doorknob off the apartment. We couldn't get rid of him.
Pretty much.
Remember that?
Just stuck with you.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first.
That was 10 years ago, man.
That wasn't 10 years. That was 8 years ago.
No.
When I ripped the doorknob, that wasn't the first time meeting over your apartment.
No, you came. When you came over?
It was like the third or fourth time I came over your apartment. That's why I ripped
You
out
knew
the
which doorknob to rip off.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No, Ferrucci, think about that, bro. That was before
like,
Junction City.
That was like 8 years ago.
So it's almost 9 years ago, dude.
Yeah, 2018. That's when I met you guys.
And this is like the deep movie
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it. BAE's coming up on 10 years. At the end of this
Yeah.
year, it's 10 years.
So I think my last point would be, though, for most positive, nice to see an appreciation for history. I think at the end of the day, just that sort of, because, especially for a controversial event, that was the Vietnam War.
Putting it mildly, yeah, absolutely.
Because obviously the big one is World War II, and obviously there's nothing wrong with World War II events.
But it wasn't as controversial as like.
Oh yeah, but that's what.
It's like we had to go fight.
It was
fight
good
the Axis powers.
Yeah. And obviously decades before that, people were doing Civil War reenactments and everything. So it's really neat that we have that appreciation for something that was. It wasn't overlooked, but something that was like, you kind of turned a side eye to, like, I know to the casual person that's the war we lost, but it's also a war that definitely changed our country, and you gotta put things into perspective, and it's also, like I said, I see you want to say something, Steve.
Yeah, no, like on that, all the events that we do, whether they're publicity events or working with Operation Agent Orange, like all of these events that we go to, when we get the chance to talk to vets, it's one of the best things to hear. Like someone like Joe Sully, he says it all the time. Welcome home. And to me, going along with you say, the appreciation for the men over there who did that, I think that's really special.
Yeah, like obviously what we did in January of 2020 when we were in at the Army Museum when we held that Vietnam event. The award ceremony. It was a wonderful feeling, opening up those bus doors and having vets, were very appreciative of how. I mean, not that. Obviously we came in an authentic manner, but just knowing that we supported them, especially because, when my father didn't feel the appreciation coming back home, and I know that's a go-to line for anybody that served in Vietnam, welcome home, and I that's why I really love BAE. Like, going back to what you guys were saying, you bring an eclectic group of guys, but we all have the same passion for preserving history. And just
that's fair. That's fair, man. That's fair. That's a good point. Yeah, I think even the guys who like maybe don't see that just yet when they come in, they realize, oh, this isn't like time to get more kills. Actually, I would say like 99% who come like. So maybe you are like, oh yeah, man, I want to kill some VC. Yeah. Then they come in, they see like, oh wait, this is actually like a fully functioning fire base. These guys have their own radio station with period shows. They do a true mess duty, and like, oh wait, this isn't just like about killing and.
We're not glorifying horror. We're reenacting and remembering history. Right, it's a very different thing.
Yes, and that's why, like I said, that's why I always want to be a part of it, and kind of like in the Remembering BAE videos. That's why I really want to be involved with a group that did Vietnam right.
Yeah,
and even going back on like those those forums online, it was only very small groups. Like there wasn't one contingency that really gave the airsoft community notice.
Right.
And obviously, like I said, when I met you guys, and like I said, my first impression, seeing the tents, all the M16s and M6, I'm like, these guys are pretty serious about what we do compared to the other competitors at the time. And, well, look where they're at now. So.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll end on the positive note there.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, so funny. Like, if you look at the time it took to talk about the hated thing versus the.
I mean, like.
But yeah, I get it. It's like you have to.
But we want to get the point across, and also, like, we just want. I mean, obviously, we all want a great community to be a part of. I mean, it'll never be perfect, but. At least give some people, the awareness. Like, dude, am I part of the problem or am I helping?
No, that's a good point. That's
because I think some people, are a little tone deaf to that.
Probably.
So. I mean, like, it's also the case of, it's easier to talk about the negatives than positives because, like, those are the things. Just the way the human brain works.
Yes.
Yeah. That's gonna thing that like. Down to that like survival instinct almost of like you're gonna remember the bad things more than necessarily gonna remember the good.
Right.
And I think like you see that in the general airsoft community. I know that I've noticed a lot of just general negativity about the hobby, and like it's because like you remember the cheaters, you remember the
Yes.
the cringe videos, or you remember this that, but like keep in mind also like you might remember that more, but you don't remember all of the amazing players that like go out of their way to help new people. The
But
rentals,
honestly,
the help
that probably
outlet.
like subconsciously is what keeps you coming back.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
like I know for me personally, I think we were talking about this earlier, but like I don't know that I would still be in the hobby if it wasn't for you guys, because like
Same. Like I wouldn't be like a normal like weekend player.
He keeps trying to run away, but we drag him back.
Yeah,
He doesn't get the
this-
chance to leave.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This year was a struggle. I mean, I had health issues that didn't help, but like to get motivated to do what I do every year, it's hard. It's hard to do it. It's
Dad
hard.
keeps trying to go get milk, but
Yeah.
we keep following his car.
Yeah, I need to spice it up next year. I think a little bit. That's what. And Ben Hett was like that spice that like got me through that year. This year, going back to 173rd is like, something that I want to do.
The roots.
It's just all the little knick-knacky bullshit that happens running events is like, it's tough. It's tough. It's just a lot of pressure to get to you, but
it's a ton of work. It's a ton of work to do every year, but like it's appreciated because like again.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
No, I that's the thing is like the appreciation. I see it like I don't need more. I don't need praise. The praise to me is like getting it done, and I'm like, because I know I can't do it alone. So if it's done, I know it was a group effort, and that's enough for me to like. That's the appreciation I need, So, it's funny. It's like even like leading up to the event, I'm like, I'm never doing this again, and then I get there, I'm like, all right, this is fun. Like I'll be back next year.
Yeah. Immediately after the base attacks at Ben Hett, I'm never doing this again. Conversation happened like a month or two ago. He's like, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the base attacks, not just the event. Yeah. All right. So let's move.
I love the base attacks. Throw it out there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
let's move on to.
All right.
There's a cost for the base attacks, but we won't get into that.
I know.
We nearly
We'll
killed
work
some
on it.
people.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
Yeah. We just need more people. We need
Yeah.
more people. That's it. We need a bigger attendance. But okay, let's move on. This is a very unadulterated
I love it.
podcast.
It's a good one.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the. So this is the first year we've done this, and it's for the new guys. It's called Wizards First Termer Scholarship Fund.
Scholarship fund.
Fun. So, my dad's call sign on the radio was Wizard. So that was the talk was called Wizard's Tower. So every year we always had a new guy. My dad, when he stopped being able to go out in the field, he never really was a field guy for Vietnam anyway. But like he did run and gun even without when he had no toes. He was still running and gunning when he could at like modern events. I think Alex and I were talking about the Steelcock series and the Fangs.
Fangs Fenrir.
Yeah. So when he realized like he was like there was no way he was going out in the field for Vietnam. He's like, I got all this gear. I'll help the new guys and loan out kit for the new guys. So we loaned out a rifle, full kit. So in the spirit of that, my dad, obviously, if you listen, my dad passed away almost a year and a half ago. So we decided let's do like a scholarship fund in his honor for all the new guys. So he's spiritually helping people out still. So basically the premise is that we're picking a new guy, going to Broken Hour events, to the big event, and we'd help him get whatever he needs. This year, since it was really tough, we have a lot of new people. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of new people this year, which is fucking awesome. We got to work hard to keep them coming back, right? Mm-hmm. But there were two guys that stood out equally, I felt, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do two winners. Yeah. And the two winners, the first one is Daniel Hall, who's a guy from, I want to say he's from Virginia or Tennessee.
Wherever Wolverine Airsoft is.
Yeah. Really cool guy. He's been talking to Steven and myself a lot, asking a lot of good questions. He basically got three of his buddies to come, two or three of his buddies to come. So he's got like a nice little crew that he really put him like found us and was like, this looks awesome. Yeah. I'm getting everyone to get gear and ready to go. So
he hasn't been to an event, but he sees and he talks to us, and he is so fired up. And I love that energy.
Yeah, I love that like one of those things that keeps me going is like because I'm like, oh, now I got to put on a good event for this guy. Like I got to do it. You know, like it sounds corny, but it's true. It's like, oh, there are people who really want to experience this event. Like even the Mike Force event, I'm like, I can't skimp on it because I got all those Arvin kids that want to go. So that's what keeps me going. So Daniel Hull is one of the winners. The other winner is a kid actually I knew for a little bit of time with the Lila group. He was always a World War II reenactor. He started getting into Vietnam. His name is Gavin Ojiri. He's a really nice kid. What I like about him is he's asking questions and he's gone to every single BAE event so far. So he went to FIT. He was going to go to FTX, but we postponed it. He was going to he's going to Mike Force and he's going to the big event. So he's going to everything. He's trying to learn. He's been reenacting for a long time. So I wouldn't say he's like a fully fresh recruit. Like he gets it. He's actually the guy he's kind of the guys we want. We want those guys to make this
that are bought in.
Right. Like he's so fresh. Like he's never fired his airsoft gun. So he's like asking me like how to put the batteries in. Like, sorry if I'm putting you on blast, Gavin, but I'm just saying like he's like a new guy that's asking the right questions.
And he's showing up.
Yep. So that I felt
Can't beat that.
So I felt like that's a good candidate to win.
It was tough deliberation.
Yes.
We talked about it for a while.
That's why we're like, let's just do both of them.
Yeah.
It's why not? So those two guys, they're gonna get a $50 scholarship or stipend to put towards anything they need. I believe both of them opted for the BAE Care Package, so we'll put together stuff that we think they'll want, stuff that they probably aren't thinking about, or maybe they thought about they haven't bought yet, and it'll be delivered to them at the big event. So yeah, congratulations to you guys.
Congratulations.
They already knew. I already told them, but I'm letting the world know.
It's real. We're not just making things up
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Speaking of stuff like that, I mean, jumping off topic, but we're about less than a month away from the Power Base Sweepstakes drawing.
Yes.
So if you guys are thinking about entering July 4th, which I believe is a Friday this year,
Yeah, it is.
we're going to do the drawing then.
Yes, we are.
I got to figure out how we're going to do it, but I want to do it live to show that it's like a real thing because staff members, including myself, are in that pool.
Yep.
If you bought something, if you bought something just like anyone else, you're eligible for it. So if I win something, if Steven wins something, it's legit. It's not like
I'm going for the M16.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I hope I don't win it.
Yeah,
I'll take it from
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It'd be really awkward if I do win it.
That's why Liam has 300 entries.
Yeah. In fact, you know what's funny? I actually bought other things and I didn't put myself in. Like I actually only put myself in once for all the shit I bought. So
I've been doing all my purchases very smart. I'll
Yeah.
buy things and I'll like extra here for the baseball stuff.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
FTX sign up that doing extra one.
God.
So I was gaming it and I was
Yeah.
like, all right, I think I have like 5 entries.
Whatever,
now. I
that's
only made
fine.
2 orders.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. So we'll have to do. I don't know how we'll do it, Mooch, but we'll figure out how to like. I was looking to like doing like there's like apps where you can just do like a spin.
Yeah.
I've been making an Excel file so like we can just put all the names into that and it'll just randomly draw.
Okay.
We have a decent amount of prizes.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, I'm jumping off topic, but it's a good topic to talk about. We have a decent amount of guys, a lot more than last year, signed up and are eligible for it.
Beautiful.
I'm really excited to see who wins because like I'm seeing all these names and all these guys like doing it and like
Well,
basically
great.
if you sign up for the big event right now, you're qualified. So
I just hope it. Look, I'm just gonna be, blunt about it. I hope it's a guy that actually needs.
yeah.
a better M16.
What are you trying to say? Trying to kill my time? I'm just kidding.
Hey, he needs an extra.
Honestly, yeah, I sold off my extra M16 to someone who I thought was going to come to an event.
All right, that's fair.
So there you go. You need
That's
that's your
fair.
backup.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's an old GMP, so it's a little rickety.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you know the TM is a good backup. Actually.
Exactly. That's
Yes.
honestly, I loaned out my M16 last year.
Yeah.
You know, because I was using my car 15.
Right.
So
Okay, so
yeah.
fair.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't sit in a closet. I'm not a hoarder.
Yeah, I know that. I just because it just as a means for them to be like, wow,
Of
this
course.
is,
Yes.
I'm not being
Yes.
selfish here.
I know,
I want it to go to someone who can use it.
Yeah, of course.
Myself is included in that pool. I would. Make
Yeah, but you know what? There's other prizes. There's
Right, of
there's
course.
we got the helmet. We also have a BAE oh my god, a BAE Care Package.
Whoa.
Right, everyone.
Yeah. So we have other stuff that you can win.
yeah.
So
Are the magazines in this year too?
No.
No? Oh, that was the last year thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no mags. So yeah, right now we have the rifle, helmet, a couple T-shirts, and the BAE care package. So that's a decent amount of prizes for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And yet the only way you can claim it, no shenanigans, is you have to go to the big event. So if you don't go to the big event, you're not like collecting later. You're like you got to go to the big event.
Yeah.
So
Because if we draw and you're not there, it's going to the next guy.
yeah, or we'll save it for next year. Remember, we're doing the drawing.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. But I did think about that too. But I'm like, you know what? If they don't go, we'll know if they're signed up. At least like.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
All right. Next segment is the FAQ. Paulak, you're kind of our FAQ guy. You want to go over the question?
Yeah, absolutely. So this one comes from someone a little bit more north of where we are now. This is coming from Randucci Dent, and he is asking, what are some good things that I can bring to an event, some things that I will need that aren't necessarily my combat gear? So I guess one of the things that I immediately think of is, because we're going to be on base, having a cot is a must. And I know we don't outline that specifically in our kit standards. It is there like a required bit, but you are going to be in a tent and you do not want to sleep on the ground in a tent. So having a good cot, it can be one of the post-war ones, the aluminum with the green nylon. That's okay.
It could be a Walmart special. It's fine. Like,
if you're covering it with a wool blanket or something. Yeah.
Which would be another great thing to bring, because those wool blankets, especially on base, like, it does get cold at night, and that canvas is mighty thin. So,
yes. I honestly, lining, not even wearing the wool blanket, lining your canvas with the wool blanket helps so much.
Adds a little bit of just enough padding.
Padding and insulation.
And they're cheap too. Like both of these things are not.
The cots. I would say BAE sells cots, but they're expensive. They're really nice cots. But we sell the blankets, and they're not that expensive. Like $40.
Facebook Marketplace is a great place to find cots too.
Yeah.
Or events. I picked up a Korean War era, absolutely mint cot for $50, and I'm excited to use that this year.
Yep.
Yeah. So what are some other kind of things that might be necessary to bring to an event, or substitutes of?
I mean, I would say a bug net. Whether it's just the beekeeper ones that you would wear on your head, especially if you're out in the field, or the full ones that go over like a cot, or could be draped over, like if you make a little enclosure or something like that.
Yeah.
Some of these events, the bugs will carry you away. Like the mosquitoes are there in force.
I think they were too bad last year. Ben had. They weren't. Unless maybe I was lucky.
The one I'm specifically thinking of was
Mike Force 2 years ago.
Mike Force 2 years ago.
When I didn't have a bug net.
Exactly. Because you look like you had chicken pox. Like in every piece of skin that wasn't covered, it was nothing but.
I was sleeping with a parachute net over my face.
Yeah.
A little hole to breathe every like 30 minutes.
It looked like a little babushka over there.
Oh yeah.
It's like a headscarf.
Yes. I woke up in the middle of the night, like scratching at on the back of my neck, and I woke Fralish up next to me. I was like, Fralish, is this a tick? Is this a tick? I was like panicking. It was a piece of like dirt that was stuck to me. Yeah. But freaky stuff, man.
Yeah, bug net is. I have one. So I have one in every rucksack. And it's the only thing that stays. Like when I dump out my rucksack, the bug net. So I have a bug net for every single rucksack.
I gotta do that.
So I have one in my my lightweight, my tropical, my RV one. So that even my my M5 bag has so it's just always there. I never forget it.
It's one of those things where it seems like a luxury until you're out in the field and you're getting eaten alive, and then it's like, I wish I would have spent, And again, they're not that expensive, especially the full ones, the ones that would originally go over like a cot. They're not pricey.
All right, so to tack on your cold nights, I would say everyone thinks, oh, it's the summer. I don't need to be warm, but there are mornings that are cold. There are nights that are cold. I would say an M65 jacket, or the M52 jacket. An OD jacket, correct jacket.
Yep.
Or you can go the route with a sweatshirt, where even the fit sweatshirt. If you're a fit guy, the fit sweatshirt is okay. I bring mine every year. It's nice and cozy. Sometimes I'll sleep in that.
I was gonna say, especially during the winter, I like sleeping with my room like really cold, I'll have the window open during the winter, and I'll throw the fit sweatshirt on, and I'm comfortable.
It's cozy. It's a cozy sweatshirt. Yeah.
It's a nice material. It's a nice.
It's comfortable.
Yeah. That sweatshirt's good. And we sell them on the website, just the sweatshirt alone, so you could still just buy it there if you just want like a gray sweatshirt. But like plain gray sweatshirt is pretty like normal to see in the 60s, so it's like just something like that. Water, I think people, just to beat that dead horse, water. Bring a lot of water. People don't think about that. They I'll see a guy show up and he's like fully decked out and ready to go, and he's like, "Yeah, I still gotta go get my water." It's like that should have been the first thing you fucking bought. So come with the water. Come there. Save yourself the trip.
Bring more than you think you'll need as well. Yeah. Especially at the big event, you can hide it under your rack, cot. Thank you.
So even like an extra poncho or a tarp to hide the water jugs is nice.
Yeah.
What I personally do is every event that I've gone to, I've gotten the food situation done before I even leave my house. Typically for me, I'll do cans and I'll do modern MREs, and then I will get water at like the closest Walmart or drugstore towards that closest to the event, because that water, it does add a lot of weight and it is cumbersome if you're bringing a lot of stuff with you.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but you're still doing it before you get to the event. That's what.
It's as close, the closest one to the event.
That's why you show up early, because they don't restock that often.
No,
Bay clears out Walmart's.
Yeah, no.
That's true.
When we went at the last event, it was oh my goodness, the last big event that I went to. Dragon's Back. Yeah, it was myself, Will, Matt, and Ian, and we bought all of their spring water.
Yeah,
we had, I think, maybe 20 gallons between the four of us.
Yeah, we cleared them
and we ran out of it between the four of us.
Yeah,
we had to go get more. So bringing a lot of water,
really
is crucial.
As someone who's had to now have to overcompensate by drinking water, I'm probably going to be bringing over 2 gallons a day.
Yeah.
Even a gallon a day is like even when I talk to the doctor, I talked to a urologist about my kidneys and staying hydrated. He said it's not so much how much you drink, it's how much you pee is what you should be watching. And it's different per person. But he's like a gallon of water is probably not even enough. He's like if you're sweating and exerting yourself, then I told him like we eat all the MREs. He's like yeah, you should be drinking more than a gallon of water a day. So I would say bring 2. And the good thing about water is cheap. Poland Spring water is cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's gone up in price. It used to be
$1.20 gallon.
$1.20. Yeah, it's not bad. So and I know it's annoying and cumbersome, like Randy said, but once you get it and bring it, you just dump it to the side of your tent, put a tarp over it, or put an extra poncho or something just to keep the sun off it. You're fine.
That's where that wool blanket going back comes in. Help if you line that wool blanket on top of the cot and then you use like the poncho liner. Yeah, it covers this hide. And you can hide everything. All of your non-period stuff goes right under, and it hides it perfectly.
Yep.
Absolutely. Last thing to answer, at least on my end, with this FAQ is if you cannot get a foot locker, which I highly recommend a foot locker for organization, as well as plastic bags for organizing and keeping things dry.
Right.
Having a duffel bag that is also lined with plastic bags is really helpful, because a duffel bag will get wet if it's on the ground, whether it's just morning dew or it rains. You're gonna get your stuff in there soaked. So if you can line that with a plastic bag, it's going to be a lot easier to manage your stuff and also be able to use your stuff not soaking wet.
So I thought of this before you said that, and I'm glad you said it. I would bring a piece of plywood for your bunk, and then you'll avoid stuff getting wet.
I love plywood.
Yeah, it'll be something that I have a pile of it on the mule ready to go. And guys bring some, like Ian Scudder was a nice guy. He brought some for people. Mueller and I had in our tent. We kind of lined our tent with the extra plywood after I gave it out. It's just a surface that's not grass. Now the grass doesn't get too bad. It's not really muddy, but it's like who wants to walk on grass barefoot when they wake up?
Right.
And you should. That's another thing you should have is shower sandals. This is such a key thing. I don't recommend it all the time because you will get poison ivy walking around with sandals on. I'm one who's gotten it. But having them just to go run out to take a piss or something in the middle of the night, it's actually pretty handy.
Lets your feet air out.
Yeah, like a few times, like at the bar nights, at the club, the club, the bass club. I just wear my sandals to keep my feet aired out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a piece of plywood to go on the side of your bunk, so you're flattening. You're keeping your feet off that grass. It's just a place. To complement that is you buy a shitty little like $5 rug from Walmart. So it's somewhere soft. Like John Van Ness is going you go to John Van Ness's tent. It looks like an Arabian merchant set up inside of it. He's got rugs everywhere. It's like it's like a genie bottle in here. He really decks it out. But if you look at he's got a piece of plywood and he's got rugs over that. And that's kind of what I do. I just have a car mat, or those like they're actually probably look like the '60s. They're like the little like woven cotton mats.
Yeah.
I have
like a outdoor rug type of thing.
Yeah. You just put that on the plywood, and then you kind of have a nice place to change and not have to step on grass. Yeah. The bunk life is, especially for the guys who are coming early. Like you're probably staying in that place, and you've stayed at a longer than you stayed at a hotel in most cases. So you want to kind of make yourself at home. I don't know if somebody still has them, but a good recommendation is the getting a artillery crate for like knickknacks, which could help supplement the need for a footlocker. You bring a duffel bag and you have a 40 millimeter rounds.
There's like different ones.
Yeah,
I know,
the ones in my basement.
I think the most popular.
I think the ones in my basement are 105s. Yeah. They you can make them with shelves. And you can make like a little cabinet and put stuff in. Jim Lennon's a good example. I mean, he's in officer country, so you don't really see his bunk, but he has he's got his footlocker, but then he has like a little shelf of like shaving kit, books, and a whole bunch of stuff. It's actually really nice. Like he used to make my dad feel like a slob. He's like, "So we're talking about bunk with Jim Lennon. I feel like a slob." And I was like, "Well, yeah, you are a slob, but you're also sitting with like the greatest reenactor ever." You know? So
who everybody loves.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it was bunk life because I don't think people think about that.
Exactly.
They all think about going into combat.
But go in the bush.
But the best advice was the bug net.
Yeah.
Bring the beekeeper one for the field.
I see.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely between the two for the field. The beekeeper one is fantastic.
Yeah.
But the larger one.
Oh yeah. But for hopefully the Arvin guys are listening. Get a bug net. If you want to order one from BAE, they're on the website. I will bring them to the event. If you order them, you got to order them like before this weekend.
There you go.
To be guaranteed. So order them this week, and I'll bring them to the event. All right, what do you think? That's pretty sound advice for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
I forgot about the plywood.
Yeah,
I love it. I scrounge for
it.
Look,
it's something everyone overlooks.
Yeah.
And then there's always some chump that brings a pile of them, aka me. And,
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So now let's get into the actual event, Operation Green Lightning, July 26th to August 3rd, up in Warwick, New York. So we'll talk about the things that we changed because we really didn't change much from Ben Het other than the scenario. But hopefully Sully comes back with the vehicles. Yep. That's depending on the Navy and his tour, but if he's able to go, he's bringing vehicles. So we'll have something, whether it's going to be a Deuce or the M37 or I'm trying to think what else he has. He may bring the tractor. He has a few other toys that he may bring that may help us. But ideally, I just love like that we're using like a period thing to haul our period equipment, which would be all the tents and stuff. So maybe we'll have the water buffalo. So we'll have a little more plumbing for the shower and the kitchen. So that's something that we're banking on, that he comes and he shows. If you're interested in being one of the drivers to help out, you don't have to be in the support company. But if you want to learn to drive the trucks down to the event, reach out to me or reach out to any one of us. But you can reach out to Sully or myself. tell them that you listen to the podcast and you want to learn how to help drive the trucks down. All right. So then, what else? The Warwick AO we're staying at. The U.S. camp. We're going back to the big fire base, LZ English, which is in Viet Nam province. That's not going to be in play. I am trying to figure out ways to implement the gatehouse in play, possibly. But we'll see how it goes. It's probably going to be like week of, see how we're feeling, because I want to say Wiki and I are planning to haul that gatehouse up a week prior. And it really depends on if we're going to get to it. It's so much stuff. So yeah, and then of course we need people to dig, and that was last year. So
less digging than last year.
Less digging,
still digging.
Probably the same amount of digging as Dragon's Back.
Yeah, just manageable.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't know. The check-in process I think was pretty good last year. Everyone pretty much respected the steps. Like, so it was really you arrive at the event, you contact somebody, we come down and get you. Obviously, if you're showing up early, you can bring your car up. But I would say by Wednesday, no cars up.
Because we're doing stuff all day Wednesday.
No stuff, no cars up. So arrive in the parking lot, no POVs, pass the sign. We actually have a sign up. You walk to camp or wait for transport. So you check in at the admin tent, and we had you fill out the forms, the medical. I think having the dedicated medical tent. If we have the medic this year, we'll do that again. We'll have guy talk to everybody about medical stuff, and then you'll get a bunk assignment. So you'll unload your gear in the staging area, and we'll come down with a mule or one of the trucks to bring your stuff, and you back up top. I honestly, I would love it if guys showed up in uniform, so like they're like kind of like a new arrival in the country, and then basically fall in and fall in with your unit and find a task.
Get right to work.
Yeah, that's really it. That's like the check-in process to a T. Like we haven't changed it since we've come up with this process. We haven't really changed it.
Last year was especially smooth though.
Yeah.
So I hope we can replicate that.
Yeah. So that's the idea. Like the only thing we might be missing is the medical tent, but I at that time I will be first aid trained. At least I can have that behind that.
I can check in or something. We can figure that out.
Yeah. Well, the idea is the one change we wanted to do is have the officers in the admin tent more, like at least one officer at all times. So that's something that we'll have to figure it out. All right. Another thing is the meal pass. So the price for the full plan is $100, which covers 8 full meals and 7 half meals. So it's 7 like snacks, midday snacks. So whether it'll be a bag of chips, crackers, cookies, and maybe a drink, maybe country time. We'll do a country time hour. And that the $100 is from Sunday to Thursday. Thursday night will be like a kind of like a BAE barbecue, which for everybody. But you guys, like, that's something that we need. Like, people need to sign up now, because like now I need to get money for a budget to figure out who's eating what and acquire the food. I want to do that a few weeks before the event. So like by July, I gotta get going. I gotta go and down the Restaurant Depot or wherever we're gonna shop from and get those provisions. When I do the math, not counting the snacks, it's about $12 a meal. So Randy,
and it's a warm cooked meal,
Yeah, and it's like, how immersive can we get where you're like in line in a chow hall line with your mess kit with a whole bunch of other idiot soldiers waiting to get their food. I don't know, like, it's fun. Yeah. It's always kind of a fun thing, and it's always a good time, like being with everybody in the we'll be in the Viper, I think, this year.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, where are we? Oh, we're not even close to 2 hours, guys. We may not promise you there's the 2 hours. This will take a little bit of time. So this is like the Operation Green Lightning pre-event like timetable. So we'll talk about all the stuff that we're going to be doing. What's up, Frucci?
Oh, no.
You thought it was longer?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're only an hour and 18, 20 minutes in.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, all right. So this actually may take 40 minutes, this part. So Godspeed anybody listening so far.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
You gotta stand up to stretch.
So it's like a
man,
7th
here we
inning
go.
stretch here? All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So we got the pre-event timetable, and that's all the stuff that's going to happen leading up to the event. And this is really like, if you're interested in like coming early, this is the part of the podcast that you want to listen to. So we have the reporting in process, which is happening the whole time, starting probably, I'll be honest, Sunday. Hopefully we have admin set up by then. Like, you know, I think we did last year, and it takes a little bit of time to like set up the electricity and that kind of thing. So it's like setting up an office. So it's like, it's annoying.
Right.
Yeah. So Saturday is arrival time. All the poor idiots, the schleps who volunteer to come early and put in the work of loading and unloading the tents. That happens all day. We usually end up putting up 1 or 2 tents so people can start like moving in and getting comfortable. We'll probably do similar to that. I think honestly, Polak, with the way things going, when we start making officers country, it'll probably just be you and I, since we're like the first officers there.
Yeah.
When Jim and Walker come in, they can live together.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think there's only 4 officers coming this year. It's
That's
not like
fair.
6.
So you're saying I'm good on the plywood? You'll just bring it all.
I got it. Yeah.
I'll bring the rugs.
Yeah. There you go. We can figure out a rotation for talking to.
Thought we agreed. Never mind.
Oh, jerk meeting? We can talk about it on the podcast, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So yeah, we'll probably have a tent for the Joes, tent for the officer country, just to kind of like set up, map out the base. We pretty much know what we're doing every year. So Wiki will probably be cracking the whip if he's up for it. If not, we'll find
Wiki
someone.
needs to hire more companions for him.
Yeah.
He's got to get more people that are going to be nasty.
Yeah. So
he's tired of being mean.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out.
Teach me your ways, Wiki.
I don't know if you're gonna be mean.
Nice guy nominee over here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, but yeah, Saturday's a big day because obviously there's everyone's like, it's like, I don't know, it's like a tense thing because you're waking up early. You probably went to sleep late, so it's just a long day. It really is. So we'll get up what we can. I think last year we did go into town and get pizza just to make it easy. Sunday's a little better because we're not driving up, we're driving down. We'll continue building the base. It's really just putting up tents and then taking a break and resting. Even for us, like, it's not like there'll be fun in the afternoon because we'll have hopefully by then the kitchen set up, because the kitchen takes a lot of work to set up. But then we'll probably do like burger, like a little burger cookout for the guys on the meal pass for that. Monday is usually a lot better. Did we have the base done by Monday last year?
Monday afternoon, I think we had one more tent to put up.
We did, right?
On Tuesday.
quick work.
But it was literally one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We've
Okay.
done on Monday with everything aside from. I think it was the something with the fly combo tent or something. Like we had a little extension.
Yeah. Yes.
That was the only thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
last year we were
so-
flying with the tents.
yeah, we have a little bit more tents to put up
Mhm.
especially with the kitchen tent.
Right.
But let's say by Monday we'll be done putting the tents up,
Mhm.
and then there's just like the small stuff like the gate we'll put together. We can do that on Tuesday, especially if there's like new fresh blood coming. We can put down the work. We set up the damn con game, the Nem Con game, which the ring.
The Vietnam Quidditch, as Mooch so eloquently put it.
Yeah. Bruce, you were like the Dikembe Mutombo of that game too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So that's happening Wednesday. So
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday we'll probably start movie nights, if not Monday night. So Tuesday morning we'll be finishing touches. Hopefully more guys come. Plan is to shoot a documentary style movie, much like we got for Junction City. I want to get some B-roll footage. So if guys are up to it, we'll put some gear on. We'll go out on patrols.
It'll be like an iPro-less.
Yeah,
Like no
yeah.
batteries or anything.
Right,
no BBs.
right.
But as period accurate as we can get it. 'Cause we got some plans.
Yeah. So that's the vision. But it's really all about conserving energy. Now, granted, we don't have to go that. It's not like we have to hump like the entire AO. We can literally just go into the bushes,
Right.
and capture B-roll. So like we could be sitting around wrestling and just like kind of, it's staged. I'll be honest, it's just gonna be staged B-roll.
So if you want to be a movie star, this is your shot.
Yeah, Cassidy was already auditioning.
Oh boy,
We
that's
gotta-
got to be a background
We
actor.
got to do
unless he looks beautiful.
casting couch for him or something. So
So that's the other part of our
that's
tent.
yes,
Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
yes.
So we'll get 2 sets of runs.
Yep. So then you. So no, that's the main. I think it'll happen all week, but I think the main like focus for Tuesday, if we're not still building the base, is to get some B-roll footage, just to try getting stuff, just getting a collection of guys in action. Then we'll do the movie night, and then Wednesday is a big day. So Wednesday, hopefully I'm hoping we have like 75% of the GIs at least there, and maybe more so the NVA.
Which are invited to all of this again, by the way.
Yes. But we'll probably have to have stuff laying around base in the morning, if not already cleaned up on Tuesday. But we'll be putting away extra tent poles, extra tents, or anything like that back on the truck or trailer or wherever we're storing it, just to kind of clean up the base. And we'll play the Vietnamese games. We have the Nem Con. We have Tug of War. What was the third game? We just did Tug of War and Nem Con.
That was it.
That was
I
it.
think for last year,
Yeah.
that's all we did.
What'd you guys do with freeze tag out there?
No, Manhunt. But we all played Manhunt. And then we'll have your training session.
We also have the baseball game.
Baseball games on Thursday.
Yeah,
So,
I have some
yeah.
updates to the marksmanship course. I'm really excited for it. Last year we had a really good time. We had some challenging targets, but I think we had too high of a success rate. Too many expert marksmen out there. So we're gonna up the challenge a bit, but also get guys acquainted with their airsoft guns just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because I've gone to many events or many game days where it's worked perfectly the weekend prior, but I show up and suddenly my hop-up bucking is torn. And to address those kinds of things on the field, it's a good little info course from someone who's been geeking out about this stuff for over a decade. So
Yeah.
Right.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. It was fun. It was well received. All the
Yeah.
guys. And every guy on camp did it. Like it was just like, oh yeah, this is what we're doing. Okay, cool.
And you get to shoot your airsoft gun like 2 days before the action really kicks off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was good. It was a home run to baseball on there. But Wednesday night, Christmas party, and that's we're doing it. Yeah. People will be like, "Why didn't you do it Thursday?" No, we want you to come early. It's not like I'm not even gonna hide the fact that that's why we're doing it early.
Yeah.
But also people get a little rowdy. I'd rather them get usually the Wednesday historically was the rowdy night anyway, so let them get rowdy that night. They could be hungover and useless on Thursday, and then
Correction, they can't. We're just planning for them to be. We don't
fair.
want you
Thank
to
you,
be.
thank you, Alex. Thank you. See, he's trying. It's leadership material right there.
It is. It is.
Oh no.
Yeah. But
Congratulations. You
yeah.
played yourself.
Yeah. But there's a lot planned behind the Christmas party. I think it'll be, if it's anything like the casino night at Junction City, and that was like the ad hoc one. What night was that? I think that might have been Wednesday night.
Yeah. Wednesday.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And so now we're doing that with Christmas theme.
We have multiple games going on.
Yeah.
There's going to be food. We have the Bamboo Vipers going to be pumping. We have Christmas carols that you guys are going to get to join in on.
Yep.
And the thing that I'm most excited for is the White Elephant gift swap. That to me, it's just so much fun. So bring a gift about like $20, $25, modern US dollars of a period style item.
Yeah.
So it could be a GI style item that they could get use out of, or it could be something that's like a little collector's bit, everyone needs 2-quart canteen covers.
Yeah.
So if you find one of those you want to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Playboy magazines are always a good one.
Yeah. Just keep it, keep it relatively.
Keep it period.
That was actually my first Christmas gift. The first time my White Elephant gift swap gift was 2 period Playboys from '69 and a couple bottles of Rifle lubricant. I thought I was being funny back then, but yeah, it's a really good time. So bring a gift, wrap it in a period style. Don't bring an Amazon box. But be prepared to get something cool and steal.
Some awesome guy made C-Rat. Did you say that? C-Rat boxes?
Oh no, but yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and he had it wrapped in two C-Rat boxes taped together.
Oh hell yeah!
And
Yeah.
it looks fun. Everyone was like, "What's in that?" Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool. So
I got a period shaving kit from Walker actually, and I still have it.
Yeah.
Every display I do or whatnot, I have it out there. Proud.
that's a good
It's
gift.
a
I had
good
I didn't join it, but I had Animal Farm, so I actually have two copies of Animal Farm because one of them was for the gift swap. So maybe that'll be no. I mean, no, I'm not giving it away. I'll have to think of something else.
Mhm.
But yeah, original. Print.
I was gonna say I don't have. I think that was the one year I missed was the last time, so I'm really looking forward to the Christmas party this year.
Dude, if you're
it's
like
gonna be a lot of fun.
if you're big into the holidays, like think about it, you're getting a holiday in the middle of the summer, you know?
You get a gift.
Yeah.
And you get the decorations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing Charlie Brown. I got some decorations in the works that I'm gonna get printed out and on cardboard so we can put them around the. So we'll get old school looking Charlie Brown Christmas decorations.
I got some period stuff too.
Yeah.
We're here for it.
Yeah.
Santa might make an appearance. I'm just kidding.
He is gonna make an appearance.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna spoil
Yeah.
that.
It's gonna be all creamed up.
How long has that one been cooking for Richie? Because you've been quiet over there.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for my moment.
Yeah.
And you came a little early, but anyway.
You don't say.
Wah, wah, wah. But I think part of the plan, and we may have underlinked Stephen, but I think overall for the week we plan on running the Bamboo Viper, at least
Yeah.
having our, whether we're on shift of watching it or like we'll have someone. We don't have to be working the bar because we're going to be busy, but like it's like our detail.
Absolutely. Another thing we do on base is the PX. So in addition to being able to buy awesome stuff, like I know I have a bunch of stuff I'm bringing to the PX to sell. You can bring your own stuff to sell too. If it's period style, we've had a couple things that are like a little bit post, a little bit earlier, but like military items from the 60s and maybe early 70s are really awesome finds there.
And you know what? If you come early enough but don't have a present, you can buy a late present at the
There you
PX
go.
for the.
There are going to be stockings there. I did hear from Sergeant Martin Military Surplus.
Yes. Yep. There are. Yep. Yeah. So I'm really excited about the Christmas party. I think Wednesday is going to be a fun day. Yeah, just what we have planned. I mean, between the marksmanship course, the Vietnamese games, I got to get a better rope than the rope we used last year.
Well, I think we just need to make sure that
balance the teams.
Well, that also would help.
Yeah.
But just mark out where the ropes are and make sure that none of the participants are getting entangled in them. I know there was some. I didn't think everybody was gonna make it with all those ropes and stakes around that.
Oh, the NemCon.
Yeah.
That's why I was like dancing above it every time, because it was. Yeah, we need to rethink that. That set up a little bit, or put sandbags over the stakes, and I think it'll be a little better. But yeah, so
I was also worried about everybody's safety because of Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah,
but that's a separate.
Not this time. Not this time. No.
No.
Yeah, but we'll have. So the plan is to have. We'll have to find some line for the baseball field. Maybe we can make a circle around the NemCon pole and be like, you can't go past this line. All right. So Thursday morning, we're gonna do the baseball game. Would probably be, I'm thinking like 10ish. So we're beating the heat. So think about it, the game will probably take like 2 hours. So we'll gather at 9:30.
Yep.
So right after breakfast.
Yep.
We'll do the game, and the plan is to have. You're working on the backstop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on the backstop right now. I'm still going over whether I want to build up an actual thing, or if it would just be easier for me to find something already pre-assembled and make it look 80 or not 80, sorry, 60s-esque.
Yeah,
because I feel like it'd be a lot more practical for collapsing it down and keeping it small.
That's why I was thinking, even if you made 2 foot high boards that in like 3 pieces, right? And you just kind of make it a backstop. So it's really not for like foul balls. It's just for like wild
strike
pitches.
zone. Yeah.
For pass balls. And everything.
Yeah, not even a strike zone. Just so we're not chasing balls every single time someone doesn't catch. But Frucci, you still have the bases, right? I double checked. I didn't have them, so you got to check if you have them. There might be a
check the
Yeah.
Do we have do we have hard balls Or are we gonna?
I don't know yet. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I was gonna bring hard balls only because the last time we used those softer
Yeah,
balls,
we
it
were
all of them
smashing.
got-
Yeah,
I still
we
have
killed,
one.
We killed them
a couple
man.
years ago.
They were all
So maybe we gotta get hard
deformed.
balls. That's tough, but even for me, pitching like makes me nervous because like now I'll probably have to like
I mean,
we have to
unless-
make the field real.
I was
Like
gonna say unless you want to turn it just stick ball, get a stick ball and then use the stick ball itself.
then you don't need gloves. I like the gloves. I think it's no. We'll
Alright,
we'll
so
do.
I can, like I said,
So then maybe instead of backstop, build me a shield.
I feel like that would actually probably be easier.
Yeah.
Those aren't have like the L shape.
Just need one side. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is something for everyone watching. If you can, scour eBay, look for a baseball glove.
Yep.
A 60s baseball glove is not that expensive.
No.
thankfully.
$30.
30, yeah. 30
Yeah,
40 bucks.
30
yeah.
And you know, it may be a little worn out. Throw some leather conditioning on there, give it a day or so, and it'll be good as new, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll
Hell
be
yeah.
good.
Hell yeah.
I wish I did that with mine. I think everyone here has seen my baseball glove. It's all
We
butchered.
fixed it though. Remember?
I took paracord, replaced the webbing
That's
on
what
it.
we did for a couple of our gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works
Yeah.
really well.
And it's a ton of fun to participate. Like it's just such a good time.
Yeah. I know. Was it? Did you or somebody said there wasn't like? It's like it's just like not like no one cares enough. But I'm like, when people play, maybe they don't care about the build up. Like we're trying to get going, but when people play, it's like the funnest thing they did all.
Yeah.
Like when we do the survey, every time we had the baseball game, the highlight of the week was the baseball game. It wasn't even the patrolling, it wasn't even the fighting. It was the baseball game. So I think we're trying to get it built up and try to get interest. I don't know.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Baseball's fun. Who would have thought?
Yeah. But yeah, we have some teams already. We have Ferrucci leading the Ankei two-steppers. And we have Randy leading the
Gunslingers
of Benoit.
Benoit.
Yeah.
I'm a not trying spooky fan over here.
Me too. I'll be wearing a not trying to be a neutral since
I've got a hat that's not trying.
Yeah.
Why don't you be the umpire?
Umpire?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't get paid.
You look like an umpire.
Is it the mustache?
What does that even mean?
He just looks. Well, I mean, he played pretty well last time, but I can envision him just, wearing.
I appreciate that, but Liam had to give me a meatball pretty much every pitch.
Yeah, well, when I was trying to strike him out, all I had to do was throw it high, and he swung at every single time. High guy.
I just put the black and white stripes, just up the game. You got the look of one, like I mentioned.
Hopefully he plays.
Yeah.
So it's a baseball game. Yeah, the baseball game will be early in the morning. So I know a few guys that were asking me when they should show up. I said, Wednesday is the big Christmas party. Like, maybe I'll skip that. I'm like, well, you want to show up to be on time for the baseball game, which is in the morning. So, like, get there early and like, oh, there's a baseball game? Yes. So they were like, oh, maybe I'll try to come earlier. So that's hopefully, yeah. It's going to be late morning baseball game. But I would say like by 10 o'clock. So we're not sitting out there in the sun at like noon. Okay. So that's in the morning for Thursday. We'll do some equipment training. So after the baseball game where everyone's like tired and regretting their decision of playing, we'll go into the shade. Probably maybe we'll do the Bamboo Viper because I don't think we'll have the fly up this year. But we'll go into the Bamboo Viper and we'll do equipment training. So it's really just taking your ruck and spilling everything out, and we'll show you how to pack it, test, make sure it's okay. We'll do the shake test, the jump test, make sure you're quiet and you're good to go. We did that last year at Ben Hitt, and I thought it was really good, but it was at night.
Yeah.
So I think we'll do it earlier in the day.
Yeah. That way we're not losing out on any precious sleep.
Right.
Yeah, because we were out there late. But
Yeah.
We had
People left their rucks there just overnight.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was bad.
I should have taken it.
Right.
Hidden it.
Yeah. It was like almost like it's like you guys just missed the point of the training. But I mean, I guess if it was like all packed up in the team house, sure, why not? I mean, we really shouldn't be a place where you have to worry about your shit getting stolen anyway.
Right.
All right. So what else we have? So we'll do the GI event rules and briefing, or some briefing from me. Probably after dinner. We'll probably eat dinner, then clean up, and then everyone can go hang out. Then when it gets a little darker, we'll power up the projector. I'll have the event briefing and rules briefing. I'll try to do that with the GIs, and then we'll do it in the morning again the next day on Friday with the Pavin as well. But we'll do the briefing there, and we'll do history brief, history backstory of the 173rd. I don't know if you guys thought that was cool when I did it. So we'll do that. I haven't done it in 2 years now, so I miss doing it. We should have done. I feel like we should have done it, especially at Dragon's Back. So that'll be something to do on Thursday, and then ideally we go to sleep. Maybe we'll do a movie night for anybody who wants to stay up and watch the movie. But
I'm usually beat by that time.
Yeah, I think it's like time to go to sleep because Friday's Friday's the first game time. It's time to go on patrol, and we'll be up extra early, especially the leadership, to make sure their guys are ready and good to go. And I'm trying to think here. So Friday morning patrol step off. I want to say we were late. We were late for my ideal step off at Ben Het, but we still were earlier than any event we've ever done. And that's ideal. That's what we're going for. We'll be up probably out into the bush 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So that's like the thing that you don't understand. Like, if you're showing up Friday, odds are you're gonna be fucking late. You're going to, because there's no way you're showing. Let's say we're probably waking up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. There's no way that you're showing up between 5 and 6 and getting situated fully to be ready to go at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It takes that long to get ready.
Right.
Get ready at the base. So if you're showing up Friday, you're going to be late on both sides, because even the Pavin side, setting your camp up takes a bit of time.
Yeah.
So, setting up your hammock, make sure it's not going to get wet. That's going to take a little bit of time. So Friday, I'm not going to give away too much. Saturday, again, it's just going to be hard patrolling, guys, with rucks, everything on your back. I do ideally want to have 2 nights out in the bush. Randy, how many? I'm trying to think. When you went to
both Dragon's Back and Junction City 2.
Yeah.
From what I remember, it was we stayed out
one night.
We stayed out on Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And then we came back to base Friday night.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. I
So
want to be out. Yeah.
Friday night was pretty much all of Friday was non-ruck patrols.
Yes.
And then Saturday was the ruck patrol day.
So that, we'll have to wait for the warning order and then eventually the op board, but I think we're going in with rucks on Friday. So it's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be easy. And hopefully we just don't fuck ourselves all week, which we did at Ben Het. So what else we got here? Very important. So the post-event timetable, right? So we have the during the event, Friday to Sunday, but expect to sleep in like a Ron, night defensive position setting. Not giving away too much. So then the post-event timetable. So we'll have the event debriefing. We'll probably do one with the Pavin real quick, and then we'll do one with the GIs, talking about how great we are and how much fun everybody had. What can we do better? What should we sustain? We did, we had soldier of the event, that kind of stuff. We'll do that. And then it's packing up the camps, which is very important. I thought last year went really well. We actually were faster than the Pavin, which is unheard of for us. But I thought the pack up of the Sigi camp was really good. So same thing. It's the same thing we say every year. You can't just leave without helping in some way. It's just not right. We just spent 25 minutes talking about all the stuff we set up for 5 days that takes to set up this camp. You got to help us for the 5 hours it's going to take to pack all this down. Because even when it's unpacked and put in, taken down and packed into the trucks, we're still going for another 3 hours to put it into. Well, we're probably driving another hour or two to go put it into another trailer or storage container for another 3 hours.
Honestly,
So-
I feel like in the past we've always been like, stay to at least take down the tent that you slept in.
Yeah.
I feel like with how last year went, especially now, because we're always expanding, stay until your tent is put in a truck at minimum.
Yeah.
Right? Because getting all the tents packed away and in the truck is probably the biggest job. After that, it's all of our personal stuff.
Yeah.
So don't bring your car up, put all your stuff in your car, and then tackle the tents. Your stuff can wait. You know,
Yeah.
all of the staff stuff waits, and it doesn't burn up in the sun. You know, my cot got a little warm, but I wasn't sleeping on it anymore.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
So
yeah.
And last year it went great. Everything was went so quickly in terms of pack up because everybody stayed.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
let's try and keep that going for this year.
Yeah.
and then there's an incredible ice cream spot not far away.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
very
yeah.
true.
Yep. Shout out to Labasi for pointing us in that direction.
Oh, yeah, at least from up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was 15 minutes from the AO.
Yeah.
Lucky bastard.
I know.
Yeah, this is the closest AO to me. It's
I
still
know.
an hour
3
away.
hours
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Yeah. But just the effort of now we're driving down with all the trailers to put all the stuff away. Like poor Mueller, you know, he drove, think about it, an hour out of his way down and an hour making up for the distance. So he was 2 hours out of his way
Mhm.
to help us pack into the storage unit. You know, so you guys understand, like, you staying late, even if you feel like you're not doing it, but if you're standing around and waiting to do something, that's better than just leaving, because you have to realize, like, we're not done. We're not done. We're still driving down to put it all away. And then, yeah, obviously we don't need you to come down for that. It would help.
Mhm.
But we had, I think we had like 6 guys doing it last year, which wasn't too bad. Just moving the tents in. At that point, we're so tired. We're just like, just throw them in. We'll organize them another day.
Mhm.
But that said, yeah, like that's really the event in a nutshell. Like, I'm sorry, there's a lot of work behind it. There's just a lot. There's a lot of work, but hopefully we have a lot of fun.
Right.
So, okay. So last topic. That was a lot. That was actually faster than I promised.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the setting of the event. So, if you haven't gotten anything from what we talked about, comprehension wise, you guys are hopeless. But it's 1970 December to January 1971. That's the time frame. So that it takes place over late December into early January. So we will actually, so we jump dates just to fit it all into our time frame and as the event flows. But Wednesday is Christmas Eve, and then Thursday is actually New Year's Eve. So we jump that fast. Actually, no. Actually, I think Thursday is New Year's Day. And actually, honestly, Ken said it better. I'm going to take that back. Wednesday is Christmas Day. Tuesday is Christmas Eve. Thursday is New Year's Day. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're jumping around. Yeah, that's right. I'm not even going to look at
We're trying to cram in all the holidays,
Yes.
all the highlights of that season.
Yes. It's in Binh Province in the Bang Son floodplains. LZ English, which is the 173rd's final home base in Vietnam. They were all over. They were in Tuy Hoa, Ben Hoa. They were at Camp Radcliffe for temporarily, but they also they were also temporarily at Fire Base Cadam. They were at Dak To for a little bit. They bounced around, but I would say from 68 to 71 they were at LZ English. So that's probably what base we've used the most too. I think out of all of our, or we did 2 years at LZ English plus this year, and then we did Radcliffe, Radcliffe, and then we did Cadam for Junction.
That's right.
Yeah. So what was I gonna say? Yeah. So the settings that at that time the 173rd they were already on like the kind of stand down because they were like, oh, we're probably going back to the States that year. So they were mostly on pacification missions, operations in the Binh Dinh province, which was heavily influenced by the Viet Cong, and the Viet Cong were were pretty much supplied by like the NVA, like the Ho Chi Minh Trail. That was, so the Binh Dinh province is on the eastern coast of Vietnam, right on the coast of the Central Highlands. So the NVA had a very strong presence there. Was the Second Regiment was the unit there, but they were like, if you look at the map, like there's a battle map, like they were there for a long time. When the 173rd left, like it fell right back into the Viet Cong. So expect like a lot of patrolling into areas looking for any enemy presence, and then for the enemy side, for the NVA side, those guys really want to impede and disrupt the 173rd patrolling. So expect both sides, one side to be laying traps, the other side to be tripping them. Right. Trying to find them, trying to locate them. Yeah. That's the scenario. It's not anything that we haven't done before, other than just being late war. This is definitely the latest we've ever done. Probably the latest we can do. It's not like the next, what do we do? Like, all right, let's do the 173rd going home event. Like,
everybody book on Spirit.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, this will probably be the latest we ever do for a long time. Like, this is our 8th big August event, and this is the latest we're gonna do. Like, probably another 8 years before we get bored of like, let's do this. Let's do late war again.
For the record, last year we did 1970 for Ben Het, and Liam was like, "We're never doing 70s again. Going back to the 60s."
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Well, I said I had a lot of content to do for.
And it was random. It was a random poll, so it just happened to contradict.
Yeah. Next year we'll go back to we're gonna go back to 68. So we're gonna do the premise for basically Oregon Trail. I'm not gonna call it Oregon Trail, but it'll be like essentially Oregon Trail 2. So where that's gonna be, I don't know yet. I mean, I can't worry about that yet.
Yeah.
So that's like the what do we call the podcast after?
I don't know.
Oh my God!
I'm too tired.
I know.
That should be the name of it if it's not already.
I'm too tired. No, it has. It's like the grooving or the
Good Vibrations.
Good Vibrations podcast.
Yeah.
The Good Vibrations episode. Yeah. We'll talk about next year's event and what we're planning.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys have any input about the late war stuff?
I like it. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the vibe can be a little bit different, and as much as we're sticklers about like, a lot of people on base staff don't like bandolier bras, and I'm gonna be devil's advocate. My rule of thumb with any impression is if you could see it in 3 photos on 3 separate guys, then typically you're good to go. And with the 173rd, I flipped through some of the books I've gotten recently, the late war stuff, and like you do see some of those trends. Yeah. They're not like all helmet covered out with all different graffiti. They're not like that because they are still a professional fighting force, but there is a little bit more leeway to be like, all right, do I have to like keep my sleeves rolled down? No, It's still smart to, but you have a little bit more push with what you can do.
Poison Ivy does not care what era we're
right,
in.
and
just to piggyback off that. However, it's a little bit looser.
Right. But even going to the sleeves, this is like this is probably like an airsoftism thing. Mm-hmm. In the real army, right? If you were a trooper in Vietnam in 1970 and you got poison ivy because you were too dumb to roll your sleeves down, you weren't going to the captain going, "Oh, Captain, I got poison ivy. I have guys coming to me like it's my fault they got poison ivy because I held an event there. So my SOP now is roll your fucking sleeves down then, right? So yeah, it's like a I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm like, go ahead, roll.
Do what you want, but if you do happen to do that because or happen to get poison ivy, bottom line, don't talk to your squad leader about it,
right?
And let somebody know. But maybe don't have Liam be the first person you talk to.
Take responsibility for your own actions.
Yes.
And be correct.
Yes.
Right. So, yeah.
Own up with the consequences of my own actions.
Yeah, God forbid. But like that. And that's the thing too. Is like I don't mind the loose uniformity with the GI gear, but I don't want it to be like now we have to undo all that next year when we go back. So like that's why I'm like just keep it the same.
Yeah.
But
don't be a cliche. is
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
thing too. Like,
Yeah.
Every year, everybody thinks that, oh, well, I'm the first person to do all of the lines from Platoon on my helmet, or like nobody's ever done.
Every
this.
year there's every year there's
No rocking chai comms. No
Yeah.
mixing in some ERDL. You're not that special.
no ear necklaces.
Yeah.
No car 15s.
No car.
Yeah,
no car 15s. No car
Even
15s.
for officers. Like,
Yeah. No, you didn't. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But,
I'm running the Toki Marui M16. I'm gonna win.
Oh,
He's very confident.
He's very confident,
Oh,
but just remember
yeah.
who holds that M16.
Until you have to give it away.
Yeah,
That's what
well.
I'm saying.
You don't have to win shit.
I paid my fair share.
Yeah, honestly, like I should give an award for who entered the most.
It's probably gonna be you.
No. Well, yeah, I mean,
With
yeah,
your 300 entries.
yeah, no.
No, he just has the one.
I was, yeah. I only have one. I only have one.
Really?
Yes. I only put myself in for one. Now it's for the calendar because I bought the calendar.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? But I wonder, like, if I ran the numbers, like, yeah, you know, it's a data. It's like I made it like a database, so like I can look at like, all right, who signed up, and I was like, who? Wait, I can should I award somebody who's signed up, who's been entered the most.
Do one of the We Try Harder buttons.
Okay.
I
All right. Yeah.
I'll donate one.
All right.
Piggybacking off, or continuing, I should say, with the difference in time versus the normal 67, 68 time frame. I guess the big thing would be don't permanently modify your gear such that you cannot return it back to when we go back to earlier 60s for the 70s.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, don't do
That's fair. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Especially helmet covers and stuff.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Those aren't easy to come by.
No.
For cheap anymore. You can still find them, but
Yeah,
they're
like-
charging more and more. Like
Yeah.
originals have bumped up into the $40, $50 price range.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah. Mint ones are going for 70.
Oh yeah,
And
easy.
That's why I just buy a repro. The repros aren't bad.
Yeah.
For
They've gotten
$25.
better.
And especially if you do a little work on them, throw them in the dirt a little bit. You know,
They crack.
I personally really like to take a mouse sander and run over it with
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and just to kind of rough it up, give it a little bit of texture, character.
That's
Goes
yeah.
a long way.
That's smart.
Or get some Bay Clay.
Boom, baby! I got one more jar.
That's it.
One more jar.
It's been in the PX for a while.
Yeah.
Every time I set up the PX last
I made,
couple years.
dude. I made 10 bottles.
Yeah.
And 9 of them have sold.
I think it's a quantity thing. Just put some normal dirt in a jar next to it and be like premium Bay Clay.
What do you think
And
Bay Clay is, dude?
But I'm saying, if you sell the old
It's just
one as
New Jersey
premium,
trash dirt, bro.
Shh. You're not supposed to
Sorry,
say.
sorry. The recipe we can't
Jesus
we can't release the recipe.
the real Bay Clay I got was at what was it, Junction City?
Junction City 2.
Junction City 2. We were going under an overpass through a river basically.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of like actual red clay there.
Me and you were
Yep. We
taking our
scooped that
helmets
up
and
and
Yeah.
rubbed it all over. It was
But,
great.
well, honestly, it is clay.
Yeah.
The Bay Clay actually is the clay dirt that you'd see in Vietnam.
It's from Michael's.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Well, you know how that came to be. We were working on the mule, and we were in my backyard. The hill I live on is all clay, and we were on the mule, and I guess it like started raining, so our feet were like muddy, and we're riding the mule, and we're like, holy shit, the whole mule was like red. We're like, dude, it looks like. So we're like, where were we walking? And we're like, that's it.
Yeah.
So we started talking about Bay Clay, and then Casey has the cricket. So she's like, I'll make some labels. So we made some labels, and that's how Bay Clay came to be.
There you go.
Genius.
Collector's item.
Yeah.
On the iceberg now.
I mean, if anything, the jar is cool because it has the Bay logo on it. It says
Yeah.
Bay Clay on it. So
Absolutely.
I would
We
almost
might
buy
be
just for
stocking
that.
soon, folks.
you know what's funny, man? I do have more jars. Do I have to
Yeah.
make a new? Do I have to make a new crop?
Yes,
I think
you
we
do.
could. All right. Oh yeah. We'll make a bit. But we remember we had other flavors. We had the Mekong muck.
Yes.
Then we had the Highland. There's something like
I
Highland.
was gonna say, what's the alliteration for Highland there?
No, I forgot what we had.
Highland Hue.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
there you
But I was gonna go down to the Hackensack River and grab some of the mud,
There
the
you go.
Mekong mud.
Stop telling the
You get a couple
secrets.
bottle caps and candy
Yeah.
wrappers in there. Too.
Yeah. Yeah, some crack needles or whatever.
Yeah.
Some
Oh
drugs.
my god.
Apply with rubber gloves.
Piss bottles and
All right, we're 2 minutes short. I think that's it. I think that's the 2-hour podcast.
We can all go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to give a send off? I say
I think
Randy.
Randy
Yeah,
should.
Randy.
Yeah,
You're
Randall.
quiet, buddy. I know it's tough being on for the first time. The more
Yeah,
you
You got
get
a
on.
sleepy boy over
Yeah.
here.
So what you wanted to give a send off?
yeah. It's been fun here. I hope to everyone that's listening. I hope to see you guys come July, August time, and start preparing yourselves. It's going to be a fun one this year.
All right.
Well said.
Podcast.
Yeah. Here. Podcast.
Podcast.
All right. Thanks for listening.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Felicia.
If you don't come correct, I'm gonna find you.